Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Women's Forever Young Women's channel. I'm so happy to have you guys here. I'm Judy Seeger, naturopath. Super excited to do this Sunday evening series. I know a lot of you had said, "Where were you last Sunday?" I said, "Listen, sometimes it's got to be a self care Sunday," and I just like took the time from myself, which is what this is all about. What do we do to take care of ourselves on the regular and make sure that we are really aging healthy and that it doesn't take a whole lot? It's got to be simple, it's got to be easy, it's got to be doable, right? That's what this is all about. So happy to have you on here. I am not on any other social media channels for the lives. This is a typical series I do on my social media called the BS series because there is so much BS out there that they're trying to come after us as women that I just don't want you to go down that rabbit hole. I really don't. And now, of course, with Google and AI and all these crazy things that you're like, absolutely going crazy, don't know what to do. I'm here to set the record straight. Why can I talk? I'm 67 years old. I'm on that path as well. I want this last season of my life super, super healthy, strong, mobile, feeling good, empowered. And I want that for you guys. Plus, of course, I've been a naturopath for 30 years, have had not one, but two holistic clinics, one in Wisconsin, one in San Diego, California. And I have just been through it. And now, of course, this last few years, I have changed in my season of life. And I said, let me take you guys with me. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I know many of you guys watched a replay. Thank you. Please share this with your friends. I just found out, I thought I needed 100 subscribers. I need 500. I need 500 subscribers to go to the next level. So please help me spread the word. Subscribe, hit the like. Thank you so much. Darlene's in the house. Darlene's been with me for a while, and she has been kind enough to share it with her community yoga class. Thank you so much, Darlene. Love, love, love the help with that and getting the word out. Yes, my channel has increased. This was very cool. I'm so excited. It's not to me. It's not about the numbers. It's how many women can I help? How many women can I keep from having this worry about, oh my God, I'm gonna fall and I'm gonna break my knee, which is exactly what happened to me. But then getting arthritis and osteoarthritis and all these crazy things doesn't have to happen. And that's what I want for you guys, knowing how to care for yourselves as things go down the line. Okay, yeah, so I know Darlene said she was looking for me last Sunday. Listen, just sometimes, I was not in the right frame of mind. Although I experiment on myself a lot because brands come after me on the daily and they send me products and send me different things. And I think I'm onto something that I didn't think I needed. But you see, again, things change. And that's why I want you guys to understand, pay attention to your body. And so I'm trying something. I was like, I've been feeling even more chipper than usual this week. I wonder if it's what I'm doing that's new. So I always give it a few weeks to see how it goes. And then I'll share that with you guys. So I'm not quite ready to share it, but I really, really like this company. So I'm very, very careful. I'm very skeptical of companies because there is literally so much BS out there. Just so you know, because I get a lot of pushback on this, is that I have actually toured manufacturing plants of these vitamin companies, and there is so much behind the scenes stuff. I'll call them out, but this was years ago. So I don't know what's changed and what hasn't, except for people who work in some of these places and they're still telling me the stuff that goes on. It's like, yeah. So understand this. I have done due diligence. Talked to the researchers. I talked to the scientists. I'm going to be speaking, just so you know, at the Miami Biohacking Expo the last weekend of February. If you're in Florida, come on down. I'll be speaking on Friday, and then there's some excellent, excellent speakers that are going to be there. Dr. Anna Kabeka, my girlfriend doctor, she's awesome, talking about hormones. Dr. Laura Levine, lots and lots and lots of really cool people speaking there, and the vendors. I go for the vendors. I mean, I do like the speakers, but I really go for the vendor. I'm like, what do you guys have for us? And I tell everybody when you go to these kind of things or even online, is ask them, what are you doing for the women? Because here's no I wasn't even gonna start with this, but I'm gonna start with the BS. This is the biggest pet peeve BS right now, is that I found out last year from watching Dr. Stacy Sims. Go watch her on YouTube. She's world famous researcher, clinician, and she works now on women's health. And she said that it's only been the last 30 years that studies have been done on women. All the other decades, like I don't even know how far back it goes, but every single research, everything that's been found has been done only studying men and male mice. They don't even use female mice. It just kind of blows my mind. And that's a big disservice to us because, like she says, she did a TEDx talk. Go look it up, Dr. Stacy Sims, TEDx. Yeah, it's a TEDx talk that she called it "Women Are Not Small Men." Well, how it started in the 1800s, they found out that women have smaller brains. And so they're like, see, women are just not as smart because they have smaller brains. We're smaller people. We are typically smaller than men on the logic. It just kind of blows your mind, right? So understand this that a lot of the studies have been done on men. And so the RDA, the recommended daily allowance, and then what the FDA approves is all based on male studies. So whenever you take a supplement, whenever you decide on a protocol, whenever you just, I don't care what it is, make sure that you ask them. Like I literally email these people, I call them, I go on their Facebook and I said, have you done studies on women? And have you done studies on women over 50? Because it changes when we turn 50, 60, 70, even, right? And 9 times out of 10, they say no. Bye. That's what I say. Thank you for your time. I literally do that. Like I go to these conferences and I walk up and say, hey, this looks like a really cool product. I've heard about this. What studies have you done on women? And it's usually the dude who's the researcher or whatever. Well, we haven't done any. I'm like, well, thank you. Bye. I'm not being rude. I don't have anything against the dudes. It's just like I want to know how does this work for women, and I don't want to spend money on your program that could be anywhere from well, they're expensive now. They're like you. Some supplements are like $50 to $100 just to find out. Oh, all the studies were done on men, dude. I'm not gonna even recommend you. And so all these brands that call me and email me every single day, I say, show me the studies on the women. So there's one particular one that I'm calling it my happy pill. I'm like feeling pretty good with it. It's herbs. It's just herbs. But the way she did it, and it's a woman-owned company. It's like, yeah, she did it on herself, then did it on other women, and helping the hormone system. I'm like, I'll let you know. I'll let you know how that goes. So that's the first BS. Yeah, Darlene, I know. I wish you could be here too, girlfriend. She's over in Houston, Texas, and you need to just come. You need to just be here and go to all these wonderful biohacking conferences. Although you should look, maybe they have them in Texas as well, right? So at any rate, let's get into our Sunday evening BS talk. So first things first, and some of you will know this from following me on TikTok, but it is so important, and I cannot stress the difference I'm feeling in my own body and in the women that are actually doing it. So it is that walking is not enough. I just saw a female exercise physiologist, nutritionist be interviewed by somebody. And again, I'm not going to say her name because I don't throw my associates under the bus. But she said, oh, you need 12 to 15,000 steps a day. She's really built. She's like, and she's 60. She looks great. That's her jam. She loves doing the gym, and that's great. But I'm not going to do. And I looked it up. 12,000 steps is like 5 miles or something. No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm exhausted. Yesterday you might see some of my new pictures. I try to when I'm outside. I try to take new pictures. And I was strolling along the river down here in South Florida in Fort Lauderdale, and it was lovely. I just strolled. I sat down. I had my little natural soda thing that was my treat for Sunday, and it was lovely. And I got fresh air. I was still moving my body. You don't. So when these people say that, understand that walking is good. You don't need this massive amount, number one. It's really also to get that fresh air and sunshine. I know some of you guys are in the cold and you're like, listen, we're under snow here. I get that, but still go out there in the fresh air. I get that. But here's the real point I want to tell you guys is that really walking is not enough for overall healthy aging. You really need to do strength training and interval training. Now, I broke it down because this was new to me. I learned this from Dr. Stacy Sims. I learned it from Dr. Rhonda Patrick. I learned it from Dr. Gabriel Lyons. These are women I follow because number one, they're walking the talk. Yeah. And they're seeing it clinically in all the women that they're working with. And, it's like, yeah, I follow that. Right. So I started incorporating strength and I call them exercise snacks throughout the day. And Dr. Rhonda Patrick just came out on YouTube and said, oh, if you do it every 45 minutes, you actually level out your glucose spikes. Darlene, you might be interested in that particular YouTube episode with Dr. Rhonda Patrick. It was very well done. Everything she says, I'm like, I just like, oh my God, that is so good because it's so scientifically based and case studies and research. Like you can't argue with them, and you can, but and so I tried to do it. To me, it was a little bit too much for every 45 minutes. I'm like, good grief. It's strength stuff. It's not just let's go wash dishes and sweep the floor, right? It like you're doing like your 30 squats, you're doing your planks, you're doing, like heavy do every 45 minutes. I'm like, I couldn't do that. So I started out 3 times in a day. Now I'm up to every hour I'm doing something, which is kind of cool. And I'm actually feeling stronger and better. So, okay, it's working. So, my next part of that, again, break it down. So you start out slow, right? Strength training and start out if the goal is every 45 minutes, all longevity experts are saying the exact same thing now. The strength part throughout the day. In other words, so I was trying to think how to say this. So most of us were taught, oh, you'd go an hour a day and you're good, and that is being thrown out the window. The longevity experts are saying, no, you have to move strength specific, and it doesn't have to be a lot. So I was doing like 10 squats. That's all. 10 squats, and I had to hold on to something because my balance was really bad. My core was really bad. But now I don't have to do any of that. I'm balancing, I'm doing planks, I'm doing all these, push-ups, pull-ups, not pull-ups, push-ups. And I'm doing way better. But I started out small little bits and pieces. I call them exercise snacks. I did 3 throughout the day. Now I'm doing more, right? And then you just increase it, right? But here's the next part of that is interval training. So why is interval training? And I don't talk about this a lot because I'm still seeing how it works for me. But something scared me this week, and I want to share it with you guys. It was like, and I don't remember who said it. I think it was. I watch a lot of researchers and scientists, neuroscientists, biologists, and all that. But I think it was Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She was saying that when you get older, your heart gets stiffer and smaller. That I already knew. Your capillaries, your veins, everything gets stiffer. That I already knew. What I didn't know is that when you do interval training, and I'll talk about what is interval training in a minute. When you do interval training, you could increase the oxygen, which makes everything more supple in your cardiovascular system, and you could gain, what did she say? Like you gain like 20 years, or you could make your heart look like it's 20 years younger. I was like, you what? Like what? 20 years? That's a lot. And whether it's 20 years or 2 years, listen, anything you can make your heart and your cardiovascular system supple so that it takes in the oxygen more and it feeds your brain more. That's super exciting. That really, it scared me how bad it can be if you sit around. So now when I'm sitting around, I'm like, oh, babe, I need to get up and do some exercise snack. You get to that age where like, who wants to have a heart attack? I had a near heart attack in my 30s. I was working 80 hours a week in my clinic. single mother, going to school, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to study. My God, those were like crazy days. I was the only naturopath in Green Bay, Wisconsin at the time. There were lines waiting for me, which was lovely, but and the pressure. And that was when I was working mostly with people on their cancer healing journey. When my first 2 years, many of you might not know this, but I was working with people who had cardiovascular issues. I remember people coming in their 60s and their skin was like a tinge of blue, like they were not getting enough oxygen. I know fingernails blue, but the whole oh my gosh. And anyway, so I figured out the protocol and all that. And at that time, we didn't know the science. This was already 25 years ago. We didn't know the science of how powerful interval training is. So let me just define that. Um, Go Tracy! Yay! Exercise. She's doing squats as she's listening. Yeah, do it. So Tracy, when you do them to the point where you feel some burn. That's another thing I just learned. Doing 10 squats is not enough if it doesn't burn a little bit. I know, I hate that part. But so you might be 10, it might be 20, it might be 30, I don't know, but do it till it burns a little bit. Not overburn, because what I see a lot of these fitness gurus, women included, they're beasts. Like they're absolute. I mean, did you ever see Dr. Gabrielle Lyons? She's like all muscle. I don't think she has an ounce of body fat. And I don't want to look like that, right? But she's lifting weights and pulling things and kettlebell, all this kind of stuff. She's burning stuff up all the time, which is great for her. But what she did say is just lifting something, like if you're, let me get my speaker here. So if you're just lifting, this is like a little 1 pound, this is a little speaker. So if you're just lifting that, that's going to do nothing, right? But if you're doing it to the point where it's a 5 pound, 10 pound, 20, whatever, and it's burning, that's the trick. So just, Okay. So interval training, let's just talk about that a minute because walking is not enough. Interval training it got famous with what? HIIT, high intensity interval training. I do not recommend that. As women in our 50s, if that's your jam as an athlete and you've already been in shape, go for it. But I don't recommend it. I don't think it's safe for us. I think, you're in the room with 20-year-olds and it's intense. It's very simple what you do at home. So you could just run in place. That's it. Just something to increase your heartbeat, right? And you could check it and all that. It doesn't matter. When you're out of breath. Good grief, ladies. We're not when we're out of breath. So set your timer. So this is what I always do when I'm doing a plank or anything new. I set my timer for a minute. And you go as hard as you can, running in place. You could do jumping jack. They say you could do jump roping. What else? Yeah, going up and down the stairs, all those kind of things. Whatever it is, you do it 1 minute really hard, right? And the goal, according to Dr. David Sinclair, which is where I first started with the whole longevity experts, he was saying 10 minutes even once a week will increase the supply and your cardiovascular health. I was like, 10 minutes once a week? So of course I tried it. I couldn't even do 1 minute. I said, oh, no wonder it's 10 minutes. Oh, I get it. That's a lot. So my goal now is to get into that zone, right, of doing the 10 minutes. So I did the strength, I've got that down, and that. So you see how you break it up into pieces. Okay. Give you another BS. Superfoods. I have been hearing all over TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. I don't post on there anymore. Just to be clear, I'm not on social media anymore. I'm only here. Plus, I'm going to be starting my online TV channel. Super excited about that. That's coming up. But in the meantime, understand this, that there is no such thing as superfoods. What is a superfood? Tell me. What is the latest trend? Every time I hear something, I'm like, oh my God, this is like so when I was traveling in Thailand, it was mangosteen and dragon fruit and moringa. I was having those all the time, and I couldn't I didn't see the difference. The mangosteen and the dragon fruit were raising my blood sugar. I was like, no, this is like too much. This is crazy. There is no such thing as a superfood. That's really BS. Superfood is the food that goes into that you could digest and you could absorb and it goes into your body so that you feel good. Everything should be balanced, and your blood sugar should be balanced, your hormone system, you're sleeping good, you have energy, you don't have pain, none of that. That's all it is. That's your normal everyday food. So it's not superfood, it's not paleo, it's not carnivore, it's not vegan, it's not any of that. It is what foods can you take in and absorb. And if you're not absorbing it, of course, then you can do digestive enzymes and apple cider vinegar and all that fun stuff. But there's not, or if they say clean foods, there's a couple of people I follow who absolutely bash the whole clean food term, even because there is no clean food. What they're really saying is, don't eat at McDonald's and Burger King. Well, no kidding, chickadee. As women in our 50s, 60s, 70s, we know that ultra processed food is, and that's why I knew when Beyond Burger came out, I'm like, oh, whatever. I have seen that for a long, long time. The vegans, with their canned processed chicken nuggets and cheese and whatever. It's like, no, Beyond Burger's not going to last. It didn't. You don't hardly. Or no, what was it called? Was it Beyond Burger or Impossible Burger? Whatever. It's super, super highly processed, right? And it's just not even food anymore. You want to have your chicken, fish, your meats, yeah, or have your vegetables steamed and have real food. That's it. It's just that simple. Okay. Oh yeah, the new trend is the GLP-1 hacks. Oh, Darlene, is that the GLP-1 hack? The I'm just trying to think. Are you talking about a device? Because I just saw that with Jessica from Glucose Goddess, where she talks about where you put the piece in your glucose control. Yeah, there's a thing that you put in the back of your arm to check your glucose levels. But she said she got addicted to it. It's like you're just watching all the time, and you're like paying attention, and you could get crazy on this stuff. It's like calm down, just bring your stress levels down. It'll be fine. And what I'm following and watching the fitness women and researchers like Dr. Stacey Sim, Dr. Gabriel Lyons, Dr. Rhonda Patrick, they're all saying exercise is way better than any of that. And it's like, that makes total sense because your body will adjust as you're giving it more tools and oxygen to absorb what it needs to. Your body, if you give it the things it needs, it will do it. But you don't have to go to this massive extreme of, I'm going to go to the gym and do a hit workout for 2 hours. Like, no, you don't. The point is, you don't need that much, which I think is kind of cool because I can't do that much anymore. Yeah. So Darlene is saying the hacks are, yeah, the devices are worthless and super costly. Yeah. So I don't like them. I've not heard of Unicity. I don't. What is Unicity, Darlene? Tell me. Okay. That third BS is that plant based is better than carnivore, or carnivore is better than plant based. Good grief. The truth is, no matter what you eat, I don't care what you eat, whether it's what I don't care what you call it, you have to be able to absorb your proteins. The protein kick has gone absolutely wild, and women are super confused. The bottom line is you got to figure out your protein level. So again, Dr. Rhonda Patrick has the science of protein. She talks about the formula for it. I'm a naturopath, so I go more by symptoms. So um, yesterday I went for my big long walk. I did, on the river. It was nice and calm and strolling. But today I did a 10-mile bike ride. I was sore. Yeah, I was sore. And, plus I'm doing these exercise snacks now for strength training. I'm like, I'm sore. So the rest of the day, we're just going to relax, right? But I gave my body more protein and I instantly felt better. See, so and I was able to absorb it. So you have to look to see not only, are you getting enough? I'm supposed to get like 90 grams of protein for my body weight. Listen, there's no way I'm going to eat 90 grams. I had, a little hamburger today, coleslaw, pickle. I'm good, and that hamburger, how much protein does that have, right? And I might have a little avocado pudding with some protein mixed in. I don't even probably get like 50 grams of protein. But when I got sore today, I grabbed a protein bar and I was like, oh yeah, that made me that little extra 10 grams of protein was plenty. We don't need that much. It's you got to be able to absorb it. That's the key. I don't want you to get caught up on that. Another glucose and weight loss drink. Oh yeah, no, I don't know Unicity, but send me over information, darling. You know I always take a look at it. Um, Okay, so and I always like to address this now. I'm going to be going deep into this because I think that this has been an issue and not a lot of people are talking about it. And we're going to wrap it up with this. Here's the thing: a lot of women are saying they love being single and not having to worry about dealing with partners and whatnot. And I know some of you on here are married or have partners, and that's fine. But the loneliness epidemic, because even if you're in a relationship, what happens is that you are still feeling lonely because you don't have good communication or you don't have good relationship. And so there's two documentaries out, one that was made in the UK and one that was made here in the US on the loneliness epidemic. Here's what I want you to know. There's a lot of BS going around. Yeah, all women should be single because, that they're getting treated like crap and, they could just have their dog and cat and they'll be happy. And oh my gosh, I read the comments and hundreds of women are like, I'm so happy being by myself. I'm so happy I don't have a, yeah, okay, great. That's great. But here's the thing that everybody needs to understand. There's a lot of BS behind that because what has been proven, and go look at the Tilda study, the one done by Dr. Rose and Kenny in Ireland. It was done over a 10-year span. It was done on, I think, like 8,000 people. It was men and women, and 50, 60, 70 on the socioeconomic and physical issues that come up in that 10 years. That is the best study I've ever seen, the Tilda study. And yeah, I'm going to be going through all of that in the next few lives. But this is what I want you to know from that study. It's very cool. Is that what they found was that those who were by themselves was fine. But the biggest thing is they needed community because when they were feeling that loneliness, it actually affected their health and the chances of dementia and cardiovascular issues and weight gain, all these things went up, right? And so community is the big thing, right? So you don't have to be necessarily in a relationship, which is becoming super hard these days, but you got to have community. Like on some level, you have to be involved in community. I know Darlene has an awesome, I wish I lived in Houston just for that. She's got an awesome community where they go do yoga and, they hang out and everybody's talking together. That's really, really cool. And that's what we need, especially as women. We need to be able to call up and say, hey, let's go for coffee. Hey, what's happening with you? I mean, I do it online all the time, but I miss having it here where I could just go hang out and say, hey, let's go to the big farmers market celebration that they're having over in South Florida today. It'd be more fun doing it. I mean, I talk to people there, but it's not the same. So community, make sure that you're doing something for yourself, that you're being connected, right? So just to wrap up, I'm starting community because I don't have it. So I'm like, well, loneliness is an epidemic. It's been proven. There's been studies on it, and this is a big issue for women as we're aging. And I don't want that to affect us. So I'm doing it's up and running now, and I'm actually going to start it. I was going to start it in February, but things, of course, got pushed back. So we're going to do it starting March 15th. I'm going to open it then I'll close it up and then we'll open it again in the fall. So it's the Forever Young Women's Club. And it's in the description box here below. Take a look at it, see if you guys want to do that. And we're going to connect. And every time I do this, people talk, hang out, but you're also getting your specific questions answered about healthy aging from me, right, as a naturopath, but also that you are connecting with there's something, this is why I love conferences, why I'm super excited about going to the biohacking conference here in Miami. I love being around that energy. These are people who, they might not know everything about biohacking, but at least we're trying, we're asking questions, we're curious, we're into it, right? And they're not funky people either. So that's kind of cool. And they're people who just care about their health and living their best life. And that's what I'm creating online because my people, my followers are all over the world, everywhere from Australia to the UK to the US, all over. So if you guys want to join that, go ahead and take a look at that and see what you think. But the bottom line is that there's the community is a big deal, and having that connection is really helpful, because if you think that, oh, I'm looking for that supplement that's going to help me, or I'm going to look for that biohacking therapy that I heard is life changing. I'm sorry, chickadee, that it's not like that. Yeah, but when you hear from other women who are saying consistently, hey, I'm doing exercise snacks and it's really helping, hey, I'm doing this and it's really helping, and you learn together and you see the results together, yeah, it could be life changing. So I'm hoping you are interested in that. Let me know. And in the meantime, we'll be back. I'm going to be doing lives every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Wednesday and Friday, it'll be at 12 o'clock noon. And then Sundays here at 5 o'clock, we're going to be being on here. And those listening to the replay, ask your questions below. If you have any questions, or like, hey, what about this? And hey, what about that? Love to help you guys out. Okay, have a good one. Catch you later.